sun shines bright as it moves across my face. I feel the light and everything is in its place. Oh, I woke up feeling great. Today was made for me, and life is good the way it should, the way it was meant to be. And it's a beautiful day. Are ringing, children playing in the park while birds are singing. I am walking, and I am laughing, Life is perfect, I'm not trying, it's just happening. And it's a beautiful day.
Welcome out, everybody. And I just got, Orville said something that kind of made me laugh right before we get on here. He says he's not sure if he's more excited to hear about microphones or to hear that song, because that is a beautiful song. And Tim McMorris is the author of that song. And if you ever want to use a song by him, Envato is where we actually get that music from, which would be also known as Audio Jungle is the site that specifically does it, or Envato Elements, and you can find Tim's stuff on there. We actually use quite a bit of his music for different things, but that is one of my favorite songs. I've been using it for a long time, probably owe him more money than we've paid so far, because granted we have the license to use it as much as we want, but boy, I'll tell you, I've gotten my mileage out of that particular song, and it is great. And why is it great? Well, because he uses a great microphone. I have no idea what microphone he uses, but I am sure it is a really good microphone. In fact, it might even be a Shure microphone for all we know. So welcome out, everybody. I'm excited about this. This is one of my favorite topics, and I'm going to tell you why this is one of my favorite topics. And there's a couple of reasons. One, as I mentioned in my email earlier, video, the most important part is actually the audio. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, if you come on to a video and maybe it doesn't look so good, maybe it's kind of low resolution, maybe it's, maybe the person is, it looks like a troll, I don't know, whatever. I should talk, right? If they're giving good information and the sound is good, you're going to stick around because you can hear what they're saying. So even if it doesn't look good, even if you have to avert your eyes at what's on the screen, or it's too dark, or it's too blown out, or whatever, if you can understand and hear them, you'll stick around a lot longer. If you have a video that's well lit, well shot, great camera work, whatever, but everyone sounds like this, you're not going to stick around very long, right? You're not going to stick around very long. So audio is a vastly more important thing than most people actually think of. And you would be surprised, well, maybe you wouldn't because you probably encounter it yourself, but how many people that I know could afford the best mics on planet Earth are selling a product? They got a sales page, they got a sales video, and they look good, and the camera's all nice, and they got multiple shots, and they got ring lights, and they got all sorts of different things going on, yet the sound is kind of like this, and it just doesn't sound very good. Well, that's something that we can avoid so easily. And Steve's on here, and he says, howdy. Steve knows this as good as anybody because Steve has used many of the microphones that I've told him to go and get, most of which were very inexpensive Movo microphones. And we're going to talk about some of the different microphones that you can use, what you should use, when should you use them, how should you use them, And there's going to be different situations. For instance, while doing this video here, or while I'm doing my podcast, or anything where I'm standing at my desk here in front of you guys, I'm using this thing right here, okay? Now, if you take a look at this microphone, I'll talk over here. If you take a look at this microphone right here, this is one that you probably have seen before. Anything, some of the higher end podcasts, radio show, well, you don't see radio shows, but if you could see behind the scenes at a radio program, these are more likely the microphones that they're using. This one here is an Electro Voice RE20. It is a very good microphone. I probably don't use it perfectly because I'm going to tell you one thing. While I know how important sound is and I know how important microphones are, I'm the first to admit I am not an audio guy. I'm not an audio expert by any stretch of the imagination. I actually had somebody come into my office and set up the microphones properly to make sure that, on the mixer that everything was set up right. I'm sure it's not anymore because we've moved twice since then. But that's the type of things that you really have to work with, is all sorts of different settings and whatnot. And Steve used to work in radio, so he probably knows more about microphones than even I do. So it is a very complex subject. But fortunately, for us shooting videos for local businesses or for our own local business or for fun on YouTube or even a really good channel on YouTube, you don't need to be an audio expert. You just need to have decent microphones that are going to sound better than just the one that's built on your camera or the one that's built on your smartphone. And first and foremost, I do want to bring one thing up though. As most of you know, I shoot with an iPhone quite often, and I attach microphones to that as well. But the newest iPhone that just came out the other day, the 16 Pro and the 16 Pro Max, they actually have a new a new microphone array where they have somehow inside these phones, they've added an extra microphone for pickup, and they're what they call studio quality microphones. And the funny thing is, I watched a video the other day where they compared the sound of the phone being not too far away from you, a good 3 or 4 feet away from you, talking directly to the phone versus last year's iPhone and the Samsungs and stuff like that. I have to say, for the first time ever, it sounded pretty darn good. It was not bad at all. Smartphones, they can pick up sound pretty well. The problem is you need to have them right in your face in order to pick the sound up really good, usually. But this new 16 Pro, from what I've seen so far, does a really, really good job of canceling out other sounds, really enhancing your voice. And I don't know how much of that is these 4 studio quality microphones, as they claim, or how much of it is AI, because I will tell you this, AI has come a long way in the last couple of years when it comes to sound cleanup. And even non-AI, just the tools that are built into some of these editors, they do an incredible job. They do an incredible job. But there's different microphones that you're going to need for different setups. So I pointed out to my RE20 here. This is literally sits right here on an arm, and the arm goes over my monitor down the other side and attaches to the desk. So it does float up and down and back and forth. And it's what's called an XLR microphone. So this is not a webcam microphone or a USB microphone. This is one that actually has professional XLR wiring that comes out of it. It goes into a mixer. I've also got down there, I've got a sound gate and some other things that are processing the sound as it goes through there. And then after all that, then I'm cheating and using a USB attachment that brings it to the computer anyway. So in the end, it becomes a USB microphone, but this is something that would be seen in a traditional studio of broadcast radio, broadcast recordings, things like that. However, most people are not going to want to get this. I think right now you can get this one, this microphone here. This is a microphone that's been around for, I don't know, it's been around a long time. If you went back and watched videos from 15 years ago, you're going to see this same microphone being used. If you went to a radio station 15, 20 years ago, you're going to see this same microphone there. It's come down in price. When I bought this thing, it was like $1,000. And that doesn't include the arm, and it was $1,000 microphone. I think nowadays it's a little bit cheaper. I think you might be able to get it for like $700-800, somewhere in that range. Again, probably way overkill for what I'm doing here. But if you're doing work like this, where you're sitting at a desk, you're doing a podcast, you're doing review videos, whatever it happens to be, you do have some options. And I've got a couple sitting right back here that I'm going to show you guys. And let me grab one of them here. So this one is one that's put out by our good friends at Movo. Everybody knows I'm going to talk about Movo a lot in this particular episode. But this here is what they call, this is their 4K web mic. Now, the last I checked, they don't even have this particular one on their website anymore. They have the HD version. They have a version without the ring light, which, to be honest, that ring light doesn't do a whole lot. But if you're using it as a webcam and you're kind of this close, it can light you up pretty good there. So further away, it's not going to do nearly as much. But this is a very good microphone on here. You can see this whole thing is a big condenser mic in there. And it just attaches USB and goes out. And it is a really good 4K web camera. The only complaint, and it's not even really a complaint, the only thing that I would say about this particular one is it is a pretty wide camera, so it gets a lot around you. And that would be my only thing that I would say. I wish it was either had an adjustable lens where I could, do a little bit of a manual zoom on it would be great. But you can also do that digitally and crop it out, because even though it's a 4K webcam, how often are you going to go 4K out? You're not going to. I'm not going out 4K right now. I believe I'm going out 1080 on this one here. Yeah, 1080. So honestly, 4K, it's a bit much for these types of things, but this is a very, very good web mic and microphone. Webcam and microphone. Now this one is the UM700, also by Movo. This one is very similar to the Yeti microphone that many of you are probably familiar with, which I actually have one of those down here as well. This one, the great thing about this is it plugs directly in USB. You don't have to do any kind of external processing or anything like that. You just plug it in. But this particular mic has a lot of really, really good features in it. So if you look on this here, you've got different pickup patterns. Now, if you can see that there, try to get that on camera. It's going to be blurry. But this button right here on the bottom, that allows you to choose different pickup patterns. Now, what do I mean by pickup patterns? Well, when you talk about microphones, there are different types of microphones. So, for instance, a lapel mic is usually going to be what's called an omnidirectional microphone. And what that means is if this is your giant lapel mic, it's going to pick up sounds from every direction, omnidirectional. Every direction, it's going to pick it up, and you're going to hear it. Something's happening over here, you're going to hear it. Something's happening over here, here. It's up above, it's going to pick up no matter what direction you have this microphone in or what direction the sound is coming from, it's going to pick it up. Then you have what's called a shotgun microphone. Many of you have probably seen those. They're the big, long, barreled microphones. Those are a very narrow pickup pattern. So they're almost like, you can almost call it like a laser beam. So if you pointed at somebody over here, let's say I pointed at you right now. I pointed at you, I'm going to hear what you say. I point it this way and you're talking, I'm probably not going to hear you much at all. But somebody over here, I might hear. So this is the type where if we're in a studio and we got two people, I'm going to point it back and forth. Point to this person, and it's going to pick them up really, really well. Okay. The other kind is what is called a cardioid pattern. Now, a cardioid is a little bit different. It's a shotgun microphone is also called a super cardioid, because although I say it's like a laser beam, it's really not. It does pick up on the sides a little bit, but it tries to really focus in front. But it's going to kind of come out, and the reason they call it cardioid is if this is your microphone, it comes out in a heart-like pattern. Okay, so this is like an upside-down heart. This would be the point of the heart, and it kind of picks up like this. So it's cardioid. It's going to pick up a lot more in the middle, but it's going to pick up a little bit from the sides as long as it's fairly close. And then if it's further away, it's not going to pick it up nearly as much. Those are the different types of patterns that you want to have on here. Now this one also has a stereo microphone, and what that means is that with this particular one, if I'm talking into it like this, somebody can be on this side talking into it on this side, and it's going to, I'm sorry, that's not the stereo. Let me change that a little bit. So dual pickup pattern. It's going to pick up on this side. It's going to pick up on this side as separate things. It does have stereo as well, where when you're talking into it, it's going to pick up a left and a right channel. Okay, so those are the four settings that are on here. You've got your omnidirectional, you got your cardioid, you got your dual mic, and then you've got your stereo microphone. And that's the same with the Yeti. It does the same thing. It also has on here a gain, which is this knob here. So while you're recording, you can adjust this from the microphone itself. It's almost like having a mini mixer. So you can say, oh, you know what, that's picking up really loud. We can bring that down, or we can bring it up if somebody speaks softly. You've also got a button here that's going to allow you to mute things. And so that's like a cough button. And then on the bottom of this, you've got the ability to monitor this. So you can actually plug headphones into here, and you can monitor and turn that up and down to see how loud it is. So that's a really, really good microphone. Right now, I believe this particular microphone is, I want to say like, well, actually, they had it on sale. I was going to say it was like, originally it was like $110, and it went down to like $80 or something, but I think it's actually down to like $50 right now. If you go to raiselinks.com/Movo, you can look that up. I think I've got a direct link I can post in here in the description afterwards as well. But this is a really, really good microphone. Again, if you're sitting at a desk, you're doing a podcast, you're doing voiceovers, you're doing narrations, things like that, this will be a very good microphone for that purpose, as will the web mic. Also an excellent one there. Now, when it comes to shooting our videos, and by the way, if you have questions, throw them out there. I'll be glad to answer them as we go along. When you're out in the field, you're not going to bring one of these with you necessarily. Now, I will say, this guy here, there are ways to do that, because this one other feature that it does have on the bottom here, see that big barreled hole there? That will actually allow you to attach that to a boom pole, so you could actually use this as a boom mic on set. And I know people that do that. A good friend of mine, he does his podcast. He's got his is a Yeti, not that one, but it's basically the same thing. He puts it on a boom pole and hangs the boom pole down, and that's how he does it. And even I've done that at one point in time as well. Very, very good way to pick that up. All right, now, if we're going out in the field, we're taking our phone, we're taking our camera, whatever we're doing, our DSLR, and we're going to go out and we're going to shoot something, we need to have microphones out there. In fact, that's when we probably need microphones the absolute most. And so what we want to use for that is a lapel microphone. Now this one here is upside down. There we go. This is from a company called Powered Dewise. And these guys actually sent me some of these to test out. Very, very good microphone. Before this, I was always using my Movo microphone, my LV1, which is a very, very similar microphone that I have here. It's already out of the box. Okay. So this is our LV1, very, very long cord. I believe this is like 18-foot cord. So you could use this in a studio. But what you have with this is you've got your lapel microphone, and you would attach this to your shirt. And in this particular case, you can actually use this on a smartphone. You can use this on a camera, a DSLR, a computer, an iPad, etc. And the reason is they actually use very different types of connections for their phones, or different types of microphones. When you're plugging something like this into a smartphone, you will have, if I can find the end here, there it is. You'll notice on here, if you look really closely, I know it's going to be blurry because it's focused on me, but there are 3 rings on this, okay? And if you use a smartphone that still has a connector, which most of them don't, so you're going to need an adapter, just saying. But if you use one of these and you plug it into your smartphone, most of your headsets and things like that are going to have 3 rings, 1, 2, 3. And the reason is this is what's called a TRRS connection, okay? And that means it's got the microphone, the microphone as well as the listening, okay? So you got your stereo sound and you've got a microphone, because you're usually plugging into your smartphone a headset that has a microphone on it. And that's why it has those 3 lines. So this here has those 3 lines, okay? Now the problem is, when you're talking about, let's say, you've got a Canon DSLR that you're going to be shooting your video with. Typically, they're going to have a plug that looks like this, but the microphones that you're going to get are not going to have 3 rings. They're going to have 2. Those are called TRS. And the problem with that is it's not out of the box going to work on, so a microphone that works on your smartphone is not necessarily going to work on your DSLRs and your camcorders. However, this particular one from Movo has this right here, which is a little switch. And what this does is this allows you to turn on and off the condenser. And if you turn it on, and it does have batteries in there, so make sure you turn it off afterwards. But you turn that on, and now it's going to work on things like camcorders and DSLRs. Turn it off, you'll be able to use it on your smartphone. And it allows you to have one microphone that you could use for everything. It is a wired microphone, like I said, 18 foot, and works for almost any situation. I mean, it's a great microphone. Steve has one. Steve, you can put in the comments what you think of it. I know you've used that particular microphone, and maybe some of you others have as well. I used to do all my videos with that, all of them. And the reason is because it's very easy to bring around. You can just stick one in your pocket, put it in one of those little bags and stick it in your pocket, or have it in your camera bag. Very easy to use. I will tell you, I've stopped using it, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But yeah, Steve says it sounds great. And it does. It sounds really good as well. It does a great job. Excellent microphone. And the best part is, it sells for about $14. Sometimes it's on sale for like $12. Sometimes it might be a little higher. Again, raiselinks.com/Movo. Just look up the LV1. You're going to find very inexpensive. They do sell various versions of this. In fact, right now they sell like a dozen different versions of it. That one there, I get specifically with the old kind of plug-in because I'll use an adapter for USB-C. The reason I get that one is because that one is so versatile, it'll plug into anything. You can plug it into your camcorder, you can plug it into your DSLR, plug it into your laptop, you can plug it into your iPad, whatever it happens to be, older phones if you got them. And then with an adapter, you plug it into your smartphone. So it's a great mic for that. They do sell USB-C specific ones for your iPhones and your Androids. They do sell Lightning specific ones for your older Apple phones. Problem with those is they tend to be more expensive than the more universal ones. So I like the universal one just because I can use it on everything, and it's a few dollars cheaper. I think the ones that are USB-C might range upward to about $20, $21. So you do save, $4 or $5 on that. But either way, it's a great option. And the Power Dewise, also a great option. One really cool thing about the Power Dewise is it actually comes with 2 cords in there. And what you can do is you can have the shorter cord and plug it in when you don't need a lot, or it's got an extender, so you don't have to always have 18 feet of cord. You can have just a shorter one. And I don't know what the full length of this one is. It's 12 feet, 13 feet. So you got a 6.5 foot mic cord and then a 6.5 foot extension cord. So you still get a really nice long run if you need it, but you don't have to use the long run. And really, it's not that big a deal to have the longer run. You just, it's going to lay on the floor either way. So whether it lays rolled up or it lays totally out is up to you. But you're going to get a great sound. You don't have to worry about dropouts and things like that. So it's excellent for that. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is what have become my favorite kinds of microphones. That is the wireless microphones. Now, I've got a few different things here. This here, okay, this is the, let me see, what's the name of this exact one, if I can find the box there. I don't see the box. This is the W-Mic 70, I believe, but let me make sure here. It doesn't say on it. I believe this is the 70. They do have the 80. This is a wireless microphone, but this is a more traditional, kind of expensive wireless microphone system. The great thing is this is Movo, so it's actually fairly... Well, it's not fairly. It's a really good price. I want to say they might sell this for less than $200. Typically, decent wireless microphone systems like this, you could be spending anywhere from $300 to $3,000. There are some nicer ones from Sony that can be very expensive. They're very good microphones, but they can be very expensive. You get into like Sennheiser, you're going to be spending $700 to $1,400 for excellent microphones. But you get one like this. Samson makes some good ones. There's a bunch of different companies that make these types of microphones. They are excellent. They have great range. You're not going to get a lot of dropouts with these. They are just an absolute powerhouse. But in this day and age, they can be a bit, well, I'm going to say it. They can be a bit of a dinosaur, okay? And the reason for that is the technology has changed quite a bit. Now, I also have over here, this one here. This is kind of the baby brother version of that from Movo, okay? So this one is the WMX 10P, I believe is the particular one here. This one is, as you can see, much, much smaller. You don't have the option to change channels. It's a fixed channel device, so you kind of sync them up and it just goes. But an excellent wireless microphone as well. Much less expensive. The only issue I would give with these is because they are less expensive, they are made of plastic, so be careful with them. I have broken one before. Somebody dropped one and stepped on it. Movo replaced it for me, believe it or not. That was excellent of them. But just so you know, that is an option there. The WMic 70 and the WMX 10 are 2 wireless options. Now, getting into the more modern age, we've got, and when I say modern age, I'm talking over the last couple of years, not, a decade or anything. But this here is one of my favorite products in the entire world. Okay? This is the WMX2. And the way this one works is really, really simple. So you've got, this is your receiver. So instead of a big box receiver where you set up the channel and all that, you plug this into your smartphone. They do make a version that'll plug into older phones as well. They do make a Lightning version, which I have as well. But you plug this into your smartphone. Mine is a USB smartphone. So it just plugs into that. And then you just turn on this little tiny microphone here, or excuse me, transmitter, okay? Now, I say microphone because, believe it or not, this actually is a microphone. On the top of this, right there, that's actually a microphone. So you could theoretically just clip this onto you there, and you'd have a microphone on you without having to use any sort of lapel mic. But what this comes with is, this comes with 2 lapel microphones as well, okay? And these would just plug into our wireless transmitter. And so now you'd be using this microphone. But like I said, it does have this built on. And the reason that I talk a little bit about this is because this is where the technology has been going. If you watch a lot of YouTube videos, you're going to see, what's the name of the mic with the long cord, Steve? That was the LV1. And if you look up LV1, you'll find there's a whole bunch of them. So they got a bunch of them. All right. So the reason I talk about this is the direction that we're going in this world right now, is these microphones that just attach like this. Now this one here, when I got this thing about, maybe it's like 2 years ago now, I could not believe how tiny, and look at that, how tiny this transmitter was. Little did I know the world was going to change quite a bit. And now you often see where just a kind of a fat version of our lapel mic. So look how tiny our lapel mic is, okay? So these are really, really small, but a kind of a giant version of the lapel microphone has become a bit of a standard nowadays, where they have these excellent little mics. I actually did a video a little while back on one that I picked up from China for $7. And you can check that video out. It's on the channel. I don't have that one with me right now because I gave that one to my wife to use for some stuff that she was recording for the escape room. But that $7 mic for $7 was pretty amazing. As a microphone itself, it had amazing pickup. I walked across an entire parking lot and it transmitted and received perfectly. The only issue I had is whenever people used the letter S when they were speaking, it would kind of crackle a little bit. That was my only downside to it. Still probably, as a trade-off, better than your microphone that would be on your smartphone. So definitely an advantage, especially for $7. How much can you complain? But it wasn't the greatest mic ever, but it was a really surprisingly good microphone. There are many of those options out there. If you go to Amazon and you look up wireless microphone, you're going to see tons of these things all over the place. And what their quality are, who knows? Who could say? Some of them are going to be good, some of them are going to be bad. Movo does make one of those little ones now too, which I have not tested yet. I can only assume it's going to be a really good one, just because I've been impressed with all their products, especially for the price. But they do have one out there. I believe Rode may have a version like that too, and some of the other ones. So they do an excellent job, and they're fairly small. But now, this came out of something that happened just the other day. Let me see, where did I put it? Oh yes, I left it over here. So there was a YouTube channel I was watching the other day, and they mentioned a microphone that they started to use and to test, and it was a little, what I call a puck. So it's a little round thing. It looks like a pin almost. Like if you're a child of the 80s, it would be smaller than the size of your Duran Duran pin that you would have worn. But these things are pretty good. Now the one that he was recommending is not a name brand, but is becoming a name brand. So I was not familiar with that brand, but they are fairly well known brand on Amazon and whatnot. And I won't get into that too much just because I haven't tested their product. But it was an excellent product, a little puck mic. And so what I did was I was going to buy one, and I thought, oh, this would be great. My problem with it was it was a little bit expensive. It was $129, which for a wireless microphone setup is not a crazy number at all. But for one of these little tiny ones here, that's definitely on the higher end, especially when you can get one for $7 out of China. Not a great one, but you can get one. So I started to look around, and what I found was a couple of them, and I found this one here. This one was about $70. There's another one on Amazon that I can get for $18. I can also get it out of China for like $13. Sorry, the one on Amazon I think was like $30. I can get it out of China for like $13 or $14. I didn't get that because I wanted to try the middle ground first. I'm going to order one of those cheaper ones just to test it out and see where they stand. But this one here for, like, I think this one was $79. A little bit pricey, but not too bad. The Movo that I love is actually cheaper. This one I think is like, well, actually it might be about the same, about $79. So I'm going to open this up here. If I can get this thing opened up. It is fairly well packaged. I have not really used it much. I did open it when I got it this morning. Literally, I did get it this morning. Apparently, it arrived yesterday. It was supposed to arrive tonight. Apparently, it arrived yesterday, and nobody told me that it came, so I opened it this morning. But I only opened it for a split second and just did a quick test. But here's what you get, okay? And I'll tell you what I love about this. Look at the size of this thing. This will fit in your pocket. You could take this anywhere, okay? Just open it up. And inside there, you'll see you've got the two little puck the two little puck microphones, and then the two receivers. Now, this one comes with a Lightning version, and it comes with a USB version. Now, would it be cheaper if it only had one? Probably. So I almost wish they had a version with just one, but it's nice to have both. There are some that I did see where you get one of these and it's actually got USB on one side and Lightning on the other side, and so you can actually use one of these for both. Okay, so the way this works is actually really simple. I'm going to grab my phone here. Now, I will admit my big ugly case, I do have to take it off, unfortunately. It does not fit into the port with the case on here, so I need to take this off. Expose my poor iPhone to potential damage. Okay, so this just literally plugs into the USB port on the bottom. Actually, let me turn it this way. Just like so. Okay, you see it kind of lights up there. And right now it's blinking because it doesn't have a microphone to attach to. But when I take the microphone out of the case, if I can grab it, it is magnetized into the case so that it sits properly. So there we go. So when I take this out of here, you'll notice that instantly that one side stops blinking because it is attached to that. Okay, so this is the side.
I want to thank me
Whoops.
for believing in me.
Okay, thank you. So this here is the size of the microphone. Okay, so you put it on anywhere you want. Now the cool thing about this is what it comes with is a little magnet, so you can magnetize it through your shirt anywhere. Now the other cool thing about this is it does come also with a magnetized clip. So if you want to clip it onto something, you can do that as well. You've got the choice of either one. And then if I go into, in my case, I'm going to use Blackmagic camera. Give this a second there. There we go. Go back out. Okay. So if you take a look at this here, what you do is you have to go into Setup inside of your Blackmagic, and you choose which microphone you want. So I want to make sure we got the right one here. I apologize because I'm totally blind. I can barely read what's on the screen. There we go. All right, yep. You can see it says Airwave on there. So apparently this is called the Airwave. One thing I didn't mention, by the way, this is a totally generic, made-up name. This one here is called the Garniity, Garniity, Garniity. But I found this exact same one with multiple brand names, so they're all the same. Don't be fooled by a brand name on there. Some of them were like $82, some were $79, etc. But if we go to our Black Magic here, we set that particular one up there, and you can see on the VU meter, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it picks up really nicely and doesn't look too bad. It's pretty small. I haven't read the instructions yet. I'm hoping, the one thing that kind of bugs me is the fact that it has these blue lights on here. I'm hoping maybe there's a setting to turn those off. I doubt it. To me, that's just distracting to have the blue lights there. I understand why they're there. There was another version of these that I didn't get specifically because it had much more, obvious symbols and lights on there. And I'm like, oh, that kind of stinks. But they do put the little symbol on there. And it seems like all the brands do that, which is fine. Again, it's very small. Smaller than the lavalier style ones, which can be about this big and, fairly fat. So this is actually the newest, much smaller one. So I like this so far. I will be doing an in-depth video where I test the distances and whatnot. It says it can do 100 and some feet, I believe, which I don't doubt because even that $7 one had no problem doing that. So I don't think it'll be an issue at all. Now, coming with this, as I mentioned, you get another little box here. They did a nice job with the packaging, considering it is a fairly inexpensive unit and everything. It does have some pretty good Apple-like packaging, very AirPods-like. These are the two clips. So these would magnetize to this, and then you would clip it onto your shirt instead, which is nice to have that. It also comes with your charging port for the case. One thing I didn't mention, I think you guys probably guessed this, but I'm going to mention it too. This is a charging case. So you plug the case in. The case has a battery as well. So each unit, every time you put it in here, is recharging at the same time as it's just being stored safely. So it's a recharging case like an AirPods case. Okay. It also comes with some wind muffs, which look really awkward on here because it's, big fluffy wind muff on there. But it does come with that in case you're out in a windy situation. That's nice. And another really cool thing that you could be using in a lot of situations is it comes with a little lanyard. And so what you do is you actually attach the microphone to the lanyard, and that way, if you need to pass it to somebody, you can pass the lanyard around, and that's pretty convenient. I do have to say I like that. Might look a little awkward with everybody wearing a lanyard all the time, but definitely something that could be very useful there. Steve says he's got a Blackmagic camera. Now, do you literally have a Blackmagic camera, Steve, or are you talking about the app? Because the Blackmagic camera is a really nice one. It's pretty expensive, too. At least the ones that I've always wanted to get and that I haven't bought yet. Please repeat the name of this mic. So, again, I'm going to put in here, I've got a link to it. I called it the puck mic. Okay, so let me get a copy of that link. I'll put it in here. I just got it off of Amazon. Like I said, there's a ton of different ones in there. This is this exact one, which again I've been very, very impressed with. But yeah, this one's called Garnity with 2 eyes. Totally made up name because they're just ordering these from China. I did not find this particular one on like Alibaba from China. I was hoping I would, because if I could get this exact one for half the price because it's importing in, I would get a bunch of them. But I didn't find this particular one. I am going to try the other one, which I know I can get in. Those sell in China for like $13 to $17. If that one's even decent, I may order a bunch of those and start selling those out. So it'll be very good because, like I said, this one so far, very limited use, but I'm really impressed so far. I will do a full video on that where we'll go outside, we'll test it at a distance, we'll check the sound quality. I did check the sound quality. I really liked the sound quality. I didn't notice any dropouts, didn't notice any weird sounds when you said the letter S or F, nothing like that. So I didn't notice any popping on the P's, although that's not really, if it does that, that's not this mic's fault. That's the fault of even my $1,000 microphone if you're not careful. So, but yeah, overall, an excellent, excellent microphone. So, Steve says, think Santana song. Yeah, well, yeah, got a Blackmagic camera instead of Blackmagic woman. Blackmagic, by the way, for those of you who don't know, Blackmagic makes amazing cameras. Very expensive, They do have some less expensive ones. They make amazing cameras, and the app that I'm using here on my iPhone is the Blackmagic phone camera app. I really like that too. What it does is it gives you a lot more control. I used to use one called, what was the Filmic Pro, which I really like Filmic Pro too, but they changed their pricing structure, and I was like, no, forget it. I'm getting the Blackmagic one, and even though I like you guys, I'm not playing that game. But yeah, excellent microphones. So all of these are really good. Now the last one I want to talk about before we either answer questions or get out of here is those shotgun microphones. And one of the things that you can get here is a mini shotgun microphone. Now this one's the Pro. Okay, so this is another Movo microphone here, and in this particular case, this one is the VXR10 Pro. So the VXR10 Pro mini shotgun. Now the upsides of these is they have very good quality. The downside of these is you're not going to improve your distance from your phone as much, because the further you get away, the worse the sound is going to be, just like your phone. So again, you put one of these attached onto your phone in some manner or form, and you're still going to need to keep the phone fairly close, okay? And then that's going to allow you to record better video than your phone would do. Now, this one here, this comes with a lot of cool things. One, it comes with a really nice wind muff that you put on there. It also comes with a more traditional muff as well. So you don't need to use the big dead cat one. You can actually use a traditional muff on there as well. And it also comes with a really nice lyre stand. Okay, so this is just gonna, in case you're bouncing around and stuff, the microphone, you're not gonna hear the microphone bouncing around. It just helps to stop that from happening. Now they do make a smaller version of this one. So this one's the Pro. They do make the VXR10 non-Pro, which is a little bit smaller. This one, actually, you see there's two things on the back there. One is for your headphones, so you can monitor this particular one right out of the camera, which is nice. The regular VXR10 does not do that. The regular VXR10 is a little bit smaller, but this is an excellent microphone. And they have a third version of this one. And Steve, you might even have this one. I think you have this one. I do, somewhere around here. I got to dig through. I've moved everything, and I had it the other day, so I know it's in one of my drawers here. They make a version of this where that doesn't look very nice. Hold that with a different finger. They do make another version of this where you have a shotgun microphone on both sides. And the idea is I would point one side at you, one side at me. We can talk back and forth, and we both have a shotgun mic that we're talking into. So that's a really, really cool microphone. I love that one. I've done that for interviews and things like that, where maybe I'm interviewing somebody and I'm shooting them and I'm asking questions over here, but I want my questions in the video. So it's going to pick me up, it's going to pick them up, and it does a really good job. Another thing to mention when we talked about the lapel microphones is Movo, and I've got one sitting on my desk over here. Movo makes another lapel mic that it's two-headed. So you plug it into your phone, but on the other end, it's got two microphones, so one can be on one person, one can be on the other, and then you can do interviews that way too. So it's a dual lapel mic, which is also a very, very nice one. One other thing I can show you guys here, I wasn't planning on. Give me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves, and I'll be right back. I think it's just right here. Hopefully you can still hear me as I do this. I do believe it's right in here. Maybe I'm wrong. Wanted to show you. Okay. I think it might be in my bag. Might be in my shooting bag, so it's not there. But I wanted to show you a shotgun microphone. We've got, a big, long shotgun microphone that we use for a lot of projects. So, and Steve says he does indeed have the dual mic. So it's a great microphone. Great microphone. All right. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Steve. Anyway, so those are some of your options with microphones. Lots of different things to choose from. Overall, what are you going to be spending on these types of microphones? What should you spend? Well, believe it or not, you could actually start very, very simply. If you were to get this guy right here for only $14, you could use that out on the streets when you're videotaping something, whether it's your smartphone or a camera. You could do that. You could use that and plug it into your computer at the same time. And if you're doing voiceovers and things, use it for that. So you've got that option for as little as $14. You can cover most of the things that you want to do and have a high quality microphone. Now, if you're going to do stuff at your desk, I do recommend that you go for a nicer microphone. Again, right now, this guy here is an amazing deal. In fact, I want to see, let me check something out here while we're talking. Because if we pull up, if I can find my, there we go, find my mouse on here. Movo does have this one for, like I said, when they just did their sale, they had it at a vastly discounted price, and I wanted to buy a bunch of them. I didn't, and I totally should have. But let me see what they're selling for now. By the way, I've got the UM700. They have the UM800 now, too. I don't know if there's much of a difference other than color, but I believe they're about, basically about the same. They also have, right now there's, wow, geez, they're selling it for $40. I mean, that is incredible. And that's the 800. That's not even the 700. If they still have the 700, they might even be selling that cheaper. I don't know how or why they're selling that for $30. This microphone here for $30. And that is crazy. If you can get your hands on one of those, I would do that right away, because that is an amazing deal. They even have a smaller version of this one called the 300. It doesn't have all the same options, but it is a really cool mic. That one's only $25. So honestly, if you're going to spend $25, you might as well upgrade to the 700 or the 800 at that point. That is a crazy price. I know. Oh, whoops. Yeah. Yes, my raiselinks.com, it does. It requires HTTPS right now. I've got to talk to Chad about why that is. But yes, so use the exact one that I put in here. That should work, hopefully, unless I'm wrong. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's working. So yeah, any of my links they do have to have HTTPS right now when you put them in there. Now I want to see one other thing here. I think I have. No, I do not. All right, I thought I had a direct link to that particular microphone, but I don't think I do. Yeah, so if you just go to Movo, go to raiselinks.com/Movo, and you'll be able to find that particular microphone. I'll put that link in here as well, just so you guys have that. So this is the direct link to Movo itself. So if you use that link, that's going to get you to the front page. You can then look up the UM700, UM800, and they've got it. In fact, let me share my screen here for a second. Flip back and forth here. I'm unprepared because I wasn't planning on sharing my screen, but let me see if I've got that set up even to do it. No, of course I don't. Give me one moment here. Try to show that screen. I didn't plan on using my screen, so I didn't check that beforehand, but so my apologies. All right. Unknown. Let's go screen source 2. All right. And give me 1 second here, guys. Sorry. All right. What's screen 4 that I want? All right. There we go. Okay. We'll pull up the Movo page here. Give me 1 second. There we go. So yeah, so if you get to the Movo page here, again, just use that link that I gave you down there, raiselinks.com/Movo, and use an HTTPS. A good app for Android, I believe. Yes, I believe you can eliminate a second track in CapCut if it has 2 tracks. I believe you can do that. A good audio app for Android. I'll be honest with you, I don't know for sure. I think the Blackmagic one may be for Android as well, and possibly Filmic Pro. I know they were planning an Android version, so they may have that. But coming in here, you can see, if you go in here to microphones, you'll see they got all different kinds that they'll show you in here. Even if we hit this here, see, like, this is the VXR10 for $39. This is the VXR10 Pro for $49, a really good deal. This is the WMX2 for $119. The LV1 for $20. This is the USB version. Again, if you get the one that I have, it's a little bit cheaper than that. This is the WMX1 for $40. Wow, for $40, that's a really good deal. That's a really good deal. And they even make a version. This is something new for $69. The Edge DI, which uses this same transmitter but does the smartphone thing there. That's kind of cool. And again, right here, this is the UM300 versus the 800 and 700 for $25. But again, at that price, you might as well go for the other one. And yeah, like I said, the WMX20, which the one that I have, this one's a little bit different. Like I said, mine was called the W Mic 70, but it looks like it's basically the same thing for under $200. So that's a pretty good deal for that kind of microphone. This is a really old one here for $15. Jeepers. That might be pretty good. I've never used that exact one, but I've seen that one for a while. And again, the UM700 for $30 is a heck of a deal. There's the double mic for $50. The W Mic 80 for $139. Okay. So lots of different options in here. You see if they've got this one here. I don't even know exactly what this one is. That looks like it plugs into your phone too. It's just a regular USB connection for $19. That's not too bad. Okay, so all of those different types of mics are in there. Now I do want to check one thing. Let me see. Filmic Pro. So I want to see if they do Android as well. Yeah, they do. So, again, excellent program. I didn't like the pricing they did. They started doing like a weekly price for a couple dollars a week or a couple dollars, and then whatever per month. And I was like, you know what? I use it a lot, but I don't use it that much. I would rather pay one price, and I was just not going to pay forever for that. But let me also see Blackmagic smartphone camera. I want to see if that one has an Android version as well. Yeah, so they got an Android version of it. So I would highly recommend that. If you're going to get one, get that. It's a really, really good microphone for, camera app for what you're doing. So that's a really nice one there. So I would highly recommend you check that one out. And again, notice the price there. Install. Doesn't show a price, right? Because it's free. So you can do that. I don't know how they make money off of that. They make a lot of money in a lot of other ways by selling, $10,000 cameras. But this app, there might be some sort of, I don't think there's any upsell pricings inside, but there may be. I've never run across any. So just an excellent camera there. I think that because they are hoping that you'll get into their ecosystem and use some of their software and some of their cameras and things like that, and that's why they give this out. But just an excellent program. So check it out, Blackmagic camera there. Whether it's iPhone or Android, I would assume the Android one is just as good. Same thing. All right, so now we are just hitting up towards the top of the hour. Any questions before we get you guys out of here for the week on microphones or anything else for that matter? Oh, thank you. Orville says that was some awesome info. Well, I appreciate that, Orville. And everybody that's on here, by the way, I didn't ask you to say hi, but, feel free to say hi at least. I can see there's quite a few people on right now, so we've had quite a few today. So be sure to say hello. But if there's not any more questions, we won't keep you here any longer. We've gone through a whole bunch of microphones, and I now have a lot of cleanup to do on all the things I took out. You guys couldn't really see it, but boy, oh boy, my desk was just completely filled with all the mess of microphones and things that were on the table. So, yeah, it's quite a mess. All right, any last minute questions? Let's see. Steve says hi again. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you that are coming on to do these things. All right. Nothing else? No more questions with all these people on here? You must all become experts already. I must be that good of a teacher. All right. If so, then get out there and get a microphone. I do not want to see any more bad videos with bad audio, because if you can do amazing video for $14 or $19, why in the world are you not doing it? Come on. It's so easy. This thing fits in your pocket. Fits in your pocket. There's no excuses for not having good audio. So I highly recommend you get out there and start using some really good microphones. You don't need to buy a super expensive one. You can buy things that are fairly inexpensive and get some amazing sound with them. So, all right, no more questions. So we'll end it here. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you. We hope that you get out there and shoot some video with some great sound. And speaking of great sound, we're going to end this show the way we started it. It's a beautiful day after all, so let's listen to A Beautiful Day from Tim McMorris. Here it comes. See you later, everybody.
The sun shines bright as it moves across my face. I feel the light and everything is in its place. Oh, I woke up feeling great. Today was made for me, and life is good the way it should, the way it was meant to be. And it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. The wind is blowing, the bells are ringing, children playing in the park while birds are singing. I am walking, and I am laughing, Life is perfect, I'm not trying, it's just happening.